Hey, and welcome to another Gmail tutorial for Bennington teachers. So, one thing that you're going to discover when you switch to Gmail is that it sorts your messages differently when you're using Gmail as opposed to working in Outlook or the products that we were using before. So the difference comes in the fact that we don't have folders anymore. We need to organize things a little bit differently. In Gmail, they're no longer called folders, they're now called labels. Labels have a couple of different advantages over folders. The big advantage that you're going to see is that you can apply multiple labels to the same message, whereas before you had to have folders within folders within folders in order to sort your mail. This way, we can have multiple labels applied to the same message, and it'll show up with different criteria. So the default label that you have in your mail is actually going to be here the inbox label. So when I open up a message, it's going to show up here in my inbox, and you'll see right here I have no new mail. But if I go down here to open up this message right here, it says that it's from Jason Schmidt, and they have an important meeting tomorrow. When I click on this to open that message, you'll see right here I've got a label right here that says Jason, and that corresponds with the folder that I see over here that said Jason. I don't know where it ended up. There it is, right down here. So I have this folder named Jason right over here, and that's where I am. Now, let's say I didn't want this message to be here in my in this Jason folder. I want to put it back into my inbox. So what I can do is I can go back into my set of folders right here, and if I want to move this into any one of my labels over here, I can just simply click on it and drag it over to where I want it to be. And now you'll see I've got a little gray box here that says inbox. That tells me that it's got that inbox label applied to it as well as the label where I am, Jason. So if I go here into my inbox, we'll see here's my message right here, and it's also got that blue Jason label on it, telling me that that is also received that label. Now, if I go over here into my more and I click on all mail, these are going to be all of the messages that I have in here, as well as the labels that go along with them. So you see right here, this one is from Jason Schmidt, and it has the label announcements as well as Jason. This one has the label inbox as well as Jason, saying meeting tomorrow. So I can open up this message now, and you'll see it's got a gray inbox and it's got a blue Jason. If I want to remove either one of those labels, I can just click on this little X right here, and then it removes it from that. It removes that label from that message. Note it does not delete the message. It just removes the label. So I still will have access to this right here in my all mail. It just doesn't have any labels on it. Now, what best practices, and the thing that I would suggest that you do as far as your email is concerned, is when you're done with something coming into your inbox, I would open it up, and instead of deleting it, I would click on this little button to archive it. Treat your inbox like your to-do list. So this is where all of the things are that I have to pay attention to or do something with. Once I'm done doing something with it, I'm going to archive it, and then I don't have to do anything with it here in my mail anymore. Now, if I have that message, and let's say I reply to that just to remind myself, okay, yes, I get that. And now I can archive that message. So it goes out of my inbox once again. I have no new mail. I've got a response coming back to me then from the user that I replied to. And now he's going to send that. And in just a little bit, I'm going to see that there's a new message down here that comes from Jason. And that's because of the filter that I have set up. We'll talk about filters at another time. If you want to create more labels, over here on the left-hand side, I go all the way down to the bottom. You see I have Manage Labels. I also have a Create New Label. You can also find that over here in your settings under the gear, and click on Settings here. And we have Labels is the second tab. Now there are a lot of different options for these kinds of things. You can look through those. My favorite one is to use the Show If Unread. that kind of keeps things a lot more clear and easier to work with if that's a way that you want to look at things. So that is a very brief introduction on filters. There's a whole lot more to it, and I encourage you to experiment and look around a little bit and try to figure things out, and hopefully come up with something that will help you work more efficiently and keep organized.